Hello, welcome to the B Plus podcast. I'm here with my co-host. What's your name over there?
Seftimor.
All right, and we're going to have a pretty exciting episode today. We have a lot to talk about. First things I want to get over to is what? What's our topic?
Tonight we're going to be doing New Year's resolutions. I have an idea of it. It's not going to be just lame like, hey, I want to lose weight, which will probably be in there because it's my I'm a lifelong weight loser, weight gainer, weight loser. But it'll be other things. Right? I have a couple topics to talk about. So that's what we're going to be doing tonight. Some motivation, some advice what we expect in the new year. So who's gonna take this?
I'm gonna start this off by plugging Needlessly Nature's Bounties elderberry. It's our third year of a lot of sickness and illness, and this will boost your immune system. It's pretty good. Yep. They're coming gummies. I know you're a fan of that stuff.
I mean, I take
supplements.
I don't like supplements. I just take
because you have to. They're your slave. You're their slave. Oh wow.
I take a vitamin a day, even though they say you just piss it out and it's stupid.
You get some of that.
I take vitamin D because we do definitely have a vitamin D deficiency, lack of sunlight.
Gotcha.
I take fish oil just because fish oil for joints.
Which one? Omega?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I take
Which brand, by the way?
Nature's Made, Nature something. It's back there. It's the big yellow bottle over.
Yeah, that's right.
Right there. That big bottle.
Strange G&C going on back there. Bodega edition.
Yeah. There's only three. There's a bunch of stuff back there. And then if I'm fasting, I take. If I fasted for the day, I take ZMA at night.
Okay.
If not,
you said that's great for sleep.
Well, you get magnesium and all that through food, and I'm drinking the salt water, which has magnesium.
Well, let me tell you what's in this that'll help you. Elderberry gummies. 100 milligrams of elderberry per serving with vitamin C, D, and zinc. And I'm going to tell you right now, C, D, and zinc are great for immune health. So, boom. How about that?
C, D, and zinc.
Yeah, that's not bad.
So you're just taking vitamin C over me, which the vitamin C is in my multivitamin.
I don't know how much it is. I mean, that's the only thing you have to think about.
Yeah.
There's only 150 milligrams there. I can eat 150 milligrams of vitamin C like a Tic Tac.
Of oranges.
Yeah, no, seriously though.
An orange Tic Tac might have.
No, they're not lying to you completely. They're just not telling you like we're barely putting any vitamin C in this.
Jason Walker, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Sefty Squad. Much appreciated, sir.
Let's roll over the resolutions.
Well, I gotta finish. You asked me what about my you asked me about my supplements, and then you don't want me to talk about my supplements.
I do like your supplements. Do you still use the green one that I don't know?
I use that, what I just said, and then I use creatine before a workout, and I use G Fuel for a pre-workout.
Okay.
So that's
your only
my stack
for your diet is your vitamins, correct? And omega-3 fatty acids.
Yep, and the vitamin D because there is a big deficiency in vitamin D. So
gotcha.
You want me to go?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
You have more to say than I do, and I have less to say. So you start it, and I'll finish.
All right. Well, interrupt me. Do whatever. Otherwise, I'm just gonna go and
do your thing.
Do what we do here. So these are more.
Oh wait! Before you start, I proposed that we should have did this on New Year's Eve itself, and he's like, "No way! There's so much to do." I'm like, I think we could have did it. Would you have ever tried it? What would you do next year? How about that?
If you want my honest thing, we just got to a point really where Michelle's comfortable with the baby being upstairs. So, not recently, but so she's been hanging out more. So, any opportunity, we haven't done that a lot in the past year. Okay. So any opportunity for that is why you might not see me on the weekends, because me and her are actually spending some quality time, which we haven't done in like a year or so.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. Totally do that. Keep doing that, please. I'm saying you want to try to cast next New Year's Eve, even if it's 20 minutes during the day.
Dude, no one's going to watch us. They're going to watch Dick Clark in his grave.
No, but they'll go watch us after they're done watching Dick Clark roll over in his grave a couple times. Right?
Yeah.
Who hosted this year? I didn't even watch. I think I went to bed early.
Ryan Seacrest.
Oh, I didn't see it.
So I have a bunch of different things that I want to do, and I have explanations between each one, so I'll just jump into it here. Number one is thinking smaller and taking action. Why I have that is because so many times, let's put it to what we talk about all the time. Example one will be weight loss. I need to lose 100 pounds. I need to lose 100 pounds. No one does. No one takes those victories and, ooh, I lost 2 pounds this week, or I lost 3 pounds this week. And I think that's a big thing for me myself, is that I know what I have to do, and I know the longevity of what it's going to take to get there.
Gotcha.
Let's say 10 pounds a month. Let's say I need to lose 100. So 10 pounds a month, we're looking at 10 months. And and I know the ins and outs of weight loss. So as you lose weight, it gets harder to lose more weight as you get leaner. So that could take even longer. I'm a big person of, I have this huge obstacle in my way, and I get distracted and I get let down because I know the work that has to go into it. Even small things like I'm writing, motivational, just stuff that helps me, kind of like what we're going to talk about tonight. I'm writing an ebook. I started it in July, and I probably could have been at least finished with the first draft by now, but I'm not. I'm about halfway through, because for 3 months I stopped. Why? Because I know that when I write an article, I have to edit it. I have to edit it through just reading it and figuring out what I got to do. I have to put it through Hemingway, which is an editor. I have to edit the grammar through Grammarly. I have to put it back up and make it look all nice for the blog. I have to post it, and then I have to post it everywhere else. Then I have to record a podcast for it. Then I got to make sure the audio's.
Question: Grammarly, is that an app? You use that as an app on your phone, or you use it as something else, like your desktop?
Desktop. I don't. There is an app, but I don't use it for Android.
Is that free for a trial, or is that like, do you pay for something like that? I'm not sure how it works.
It's free, but if you want like the super duper, basically if you're writing a book, aka me, you would be paying for it, so you would have a lot better grammar. It would really dive deep, and it kind of shows you that. It says like, you still have 22 mistakes, subscribe to get rid of these mistakes. And
yeah. It says them, though. That's by their rules. What's their? I say, you know what? I'm interested. It's a smart idea. It really is. How much is it if you have to pay?
I don't remember.
Those 22 mistakes.
It is expensive though.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy crap! I thought it'd be like $1, $2.
Dude, if it was $2, I would definitely use it, because I use it for emails at work. I use it like, for the writing and all that. But what I'm trying to say is, while you're looking that up, I know what goes into things, and you can get overwhelmed very easily.
Yeah.
So how and this is another, so this is all going to mesh together, but whatever. I always say systems over habits. So, when I'm on lunch, that's writing time. That's 30 minutes. You take it in chunks, because when you get overwhelmed, like myself, when you get overwhelmed, you end up, instead of sitting there, let's say an article, or let's say you're writing and an article takes you an hour. So so you have 15 minutes, say, on lunch to write, or when you're on the toilet or whatever. Let's just say you have to put out your 15 minutes. So it's going to take you 4 days to write, but you're like, I should be putting out more. This is all in my brain. I could be putting out more. Why am I not just getting an article done? Then you get overwhelmed because you feel like you have to write the whole article, or you have to write the whole piece and get it out there instead of the 15 minutes. But you know what happens when you don't do the 15 minutes? You go 3 months without doing shit.
Okay. So first of all, we should rename what you just explained to us. We name it habits over systems, or systems over habits? Systems over habits all day. Okay. And what you're trying to explain is that you're putting yourself up on a pedestal. And by doing that, if you're able to accomplish what you were trying to do, that would fuel yourself to keep going and going and going. It makes perfect sense. But if you miss it, then it's going to stop you from moving forward for how long?
3 months.
3 months. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, the last time I put out a piece for this book that I'm writing is September.
Okay.
So, and just by going back on my systems again, I already put 2 sections out of the next chapter. So that's up on seftimorlive.com if anyone wants to check it out. So that's number 1. So I'm just going to go into number 2 because, like I said, this is all going to mesh together. So, utilizing tech to not be so forgetful. This is gigantic for me. I am someone that will be, let's say we're downstairs, me and the wife watching a movie. I say, and let's say we made a pizza, and I'm gonna say, I'm gonna go up and get another pizza, and she goes, all right, when you go up, grab me a drink, and I will come down, and there will be no fucking drink. And this is just me. This is how I am.
That's a nutshell right there. If you think about it, that's a real aha moment.
Yeah, this is just me. This is how I am. So I use technology. I use the Google Calendar. I use the Tick app. I think it's on iOS and Android. And I am talking that I sit there. And I'll give you a perfect example. Wife is like, hey, the doorknob on the front door is messed up. I go, okay. And you just got home from work, you just got whatever. And then it goes weeks or months again and nothing has happened. So what I did was anything that I noticed throughout my travels through the house or outside, or when the wife says, hey, we need this, or hey, we need that. And it's something, that I do. I write it in Tick. That way, when I come home,
now this is an app also, correct?
Tick, yeah, is an app.
You're saying you're using it on your phone?
Yep. Right on the front here.
Hold on, I'm looking up the Oscars and the next UFC. Let me get to it, and I'll switch back over where I can see you.
Okay.
Disculpe.
So anyway, I use this app, and then when I come home, I just open it up. So when there's things that I'm like, okay, I should
back. I can see you.
I should be doing something. I should be, I have 2 hours or what before the baby goes down when I get home. So I'm like, all right, what do I got to accomplish? And a lot of days I would be sitting there going like, what do I do? Like I vacuumed, or I did whatever for the house, what do I do? So now I just open up my app, and every single time someone says something to me, or I need a reminder, or I need to put something, like if it doesn't go in there, it won't get done. If it does go in there, I open it up and I'm like, oh, okay, let me check this off. And I mean, I have so many things throughout the year that, like right now I have bathroom needs to get done, floors need to get done. I have a Nest carbon monoxide detector I got to put up in the thing, and put my laundry away, which is on the floor in a basket. So that's that. For right now, that's all I have on there. But things that where do I go to see things that I've done?
What do you mean? You have it logged?
It logs it on its own, so you could see like everything that you've already like accomplished. Show completed. Yeah. So.
No, is this one a pay one, or is this just free?
This is free. So recent ones was I had a toy box that someone made for Jacob. Bring it in the house. That was one. We had a problem with the plug in the tub. Fix that. Okay. When Jacob needed the new car seat, buy a baby car seat. Fix door lock. That's what I was just talking about. Okay. Fix the water. We had an issue with the water in the fridge. Clean air conditioner.
You have water in the fridge for the ice cubes, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how it goes.
Yep. Get Drano for sink. Watch YouTube video on a lint catcher. We were having
an issue for self there for a second.
No, not yet. At least not yet.
Let's say yet.
Maybe 2021.
No.
So what I'm trying to say is that use technology to stay on top of your tasks. Use technology. A lot of people use technology for Instagram and Twitter and everything else. Use technology to your advantage in the sense that when something gets told to you, or something pops in your head and you remember that, jot it down. Just like they say, if you have an idea for a blog post or a podcast or anything like that, jot it down. And like for podcasts or anything like that,
I send them all to you. I said I'm always texting stuff to you. I got this idea.
Yeah, you could just use Google Keep instead of texting me. Google Keep's right next to TickTick on my phone. So TickTick's right there.
What is that,
And
TikTok?
Google Keep is right there. No, tick tick.
That was a joke. You see what I did there?
Yeah,
I took your tick
but
tick and made it a TikTok.
in the events part, in the events, I put every event in my Google Calendar. That way, it's always staring me in the face. So the second screen of my phone, you go over here, is an actual agenda. Now there's nothing there now, but the agenda usually will fill up. So every time I switch over this page, I see what's going on. So many times I've forgot what was going on and saw it earlier in the week, and I'm like, oh, we got Blase Blah's birthday party this week
nice
or something like that.
that phone. Which phone is that?
That's a Pixel.
Your Pixel. That's the one that I can get for $299.99 if I chose not to have the glass version, as explained by you, correct?
The 4A will be coming out shortly. Yep.
Ooh, let me know. Let me know. It's a nice looking phone. You have a case on that or not?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, we can't talk about phones. Hold on. Stop talking about phones. It's our Achilles heel. Remember? We made an episode about phones and no one no one listened to it.
Yeah.
Quick, put it down. Shh.
Also, to wrap this up, I have I use the Google Assistant for reminders. So I was just here before we put the baby down. Wife said, oh, we need garbage bags. So she said, you want me to get them? I'm going. But I said, no, on lunch at work, I can go to the Dollar General and I'll pick up bags. But I won't remember by 12:30 tomorrow. So I said to the Google Assistant, I said, remind me at 12:30 to get garbage bags. And so when I'm sitting there at lunch or at work before I go to lunch, it'll pop up on my phone and say boom. And that is the most useful. That's even over, because with TickTick, I have to open it to see what's going on, so I have to be active with it. Yeah. With the reminders, you do it that minute, and it pops up, and you're like, I got to do that. Like, I have a reminder in there. You can set up monthly reminders. I have it in there for every first of the month. Remind me to give the dog his heartworm medicine.
Okay.
So I don't forget. Things like that. Yep. Father Tomas.
Father Tomas. I was waiting for that one. Father Tomas. Father Tomas was a fictional character on a show that no one watched, except for a few people I know and yourself.
Yep.
So we would go on walks together, and we would nickname his own dog to Father Tomas, because he reminded us of Father Tomas at that time. It's just the way things were.
That's it, man.
And he's still kicking, man. That dog is awesome. You have a very nice dog.
Thanks.
He's a good guy.
He's laying over there. I don't have a dog cam though.
Oh, thanks, man. Way to go. Way to be a guy.
So number 3 is an easy one. I'm not going to spend much time on it. It's very self-explanatory. Is get supplies ready the night before to tackle a day. You know, this is the whole old gym clothes, like put your gym clothes out if you're going to go in the morning. Tackle the things that you need the night before. I do
that with my own work clothes, so I don't have to be looking for stuff in the morning.
It sucks.
It's the only time where it seems like really, like, that's where it really helps, and that's it.
I'll tell you what.
Otherwise, my routine's my routine. If you have a way that I can make my routine shorter, I'll do that.
Can you? What's your routine?
Well, I'll skip to the end. The end is I'll finish my routine in my own vehicle or at work in the bathroom really quick, just to finish grooming myself. And it all comes down to, I think at the end, trying to get my hair back. And I have it back in the bandana I used to run in tonight. Like, I have dry shampoo in it. It's a lot to work with. And it's a lot to work with for you, because we couldn't even podcast tonight because you had to shave, right? And that takes what, 20 minutes, 30 minutes?
Yeah, which I didn't even do yet, so I'm going to do it after.
See, it's all time sync. You know what I mean? So I'm like, why should I do that at my own house when I could do it in my car or quickly in the bathroom? Because as soon as I get to work, I use the bathroom before we get started, because after we get started, forget about it, man. You don't get breaks.
Yeah, no, I hear you. But yeah, there's not much with this. It's just I always like that. Get your stuff ready, get yourself situated, so you're not. So you can just grab and go and do what you gotta do. So I make like tonight before I go to bed, I'll make the salt water for the jug for tomorrow. Put it in the fridge to get ready. Jacob's stuff is already ready to take him to my parents. All that. Okay. What's up, Special Heat? What's up? How you doing? Welcome.
I can't see, but what's up?
Yeah. So that's that one. I'm not gonna spend too much time on that.
Okay. It makes sense. You don't have to spend time on stuff that just makes sense.
Using old habits to develop new habits.
Huh?
Tell me an old habit that you use to develop a new habit.
An old habit to develop a new habit. Habits are things that you do. Are you going to say that they're done ritualistically or they're done habitually? So it'd be habitually.
I'll start.
Okay.
It's all good. I'm streaming as well. What are we talking about? We are doing like New Year's resolutions, ways to have better habits in the new year. So we just went over 3 topics and we're going on topic 4 now. So we're doing some
well, here, let me interject with my one
some New Year's.
before
Go
we
ahead.
move forward. The one I'll interject is that while I was doing my own research, like, what's a good topic for a New Year's resolution? What should we be doing here? What should we be thinking about? What are other people doing? And I quickly dwindled over to the not so positive stats where it's like 80% of all New Year's resolutions are over by February. And then like I looked at my watch and I'm like, oh God, we're talking about something that might be over in like 15
But before
days.
you continue on with that, that's why I took this different approach.
Yeah.
It's so you could put it towards anything. It doesn't just have to be like these big New Year's resolutions. Like laying out your clothes could partake into work, which you're going to do anyway. Could partake into the the gym.
Yeah. No, I get that. I get that. I'm not anting you. I'm building on what you're saying. I'm showing you that I have an idea that can build off your idea, and we're gonna bring them together.
The whole technology thing was for me to remember to do shit around the house. Otherwise, I'll be a lazy piece of shit.
When you didn't know you needed a personal assistant until you needed a personal assistant, right? Mm-hmm. What you're saying is this: your goals that you're talking about here, like putting your clothes out, they're not vague.
Just letting you know that I'm streaming you guys live as well. Do your thing. Hey, we appreciate that. Thank you very much. We'll continue. A person. Special X Heat here is streaming us on their channel as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you. So what you're saying is simple. Put your clothes out at night. Is that a vague goal that you can quit in February? No, it's not vague. It's a very specific thing. You put your clothes out at night. It's easier to get ready in the morning. It's like bing, bang, boom. Nothing to think about.
Right. So that's why we're doing it this way.
They seem to set vague goals that if they hit them or quit them in February, they don't really care because the goal was so vague that there was no point to it. That's where you get your 80% statistic of most New Year's resolutions are canceled or over or quit or donezo by February, 15, 16 days. Right. So what we're talking about is let's set some stuff down that you can really sink your teeth into, and you'll be making that change for the whole year, and it's not going to be overly taxing. It's not going to be that vague thing that you kind of don't even want to wrestle with, right?
Right. That's it, man.
Mine was I saw that somebody when they were doing their own podcasting said, I'm going to stop procrastinating only by not talking about the stuff I want to do. I'll either do it or I don't do it, but I don't talk about it. I'm going to jump on that. I'm going to try it. But that's just for me, myself. No one will really know in my head what I want to do or don't want to do. But I like the way they put that. I want to give it a shot. Maybe it'll make it to February for me. Maybe it won't. I'll keep you posted. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now, what do you have after this one?
Well, what I want to say is, because the thought just came in my head through what you're saying is that's why I'm talking about these using this for a little task, because let's just say even that we a lot big topic on this podcast lately, because it's a staple in my life is fasting. I'm not gonna do a 4-day fast and think about shit. On Monday I can't eat till Thursday night.
Okay.
I think, how am I going to get to the next hour? How am I going to, when ghrelin kicks in and your hunger goes.
Oh, you're ghrelin, y'all. It's not getting angry. And hungry. You already been hungry. Actually, your ghrelin's there to tell you need to eat because we're already pissed.
Right, but ghrelin goes away. It's hunger goes. I mean, for me, I'm heavy, so let's not talk about.
Comes back too.
I'm not
You're talking about the other one. Listen, after you've eaten, right? Well,
yeah,
I don't see anymore. You went pixelated on me.
I don't have. I thought I looked fine there.
You're good. It came back.
Yeah. So number 4 was using old habits to develop new habits. So once again, while we're talking about fasting, I was doing intermittent fasting, which I would have an 8-hour window.
That's it right there. Intermittent fasting.
Building off that, I went to OMAD, which is 1 meal a day. Building off that, I went to, I'm not going to eat for 3 to 4 days just because I'm heavy, and using this system. So what I'm trying to say is that I'm using old habits to push me forward into new things and new territories. You know, going to or doing yoga, you know, or going to the gym has brought me to do yoga because I get stiff with lifting weights. So I looked into how to stretch out. So I, you know, did that. Use old things that you're familiar with and tweak them and make them a little bit better. Like even when we used to podcast, you look at our first podcast, you know, it was a dark room. We don't, you know,
no pun Nintendo.
our microphones were on our headsets. We didn't have anything.
We have better gear now.
But our habit of podcasting got us into looking at other things and looking at how to better things and have a little bit more light in the room and do this and do that. So a habit of podcasting got me to venture out into a new habit of, let me learn some audio. Let me learn how to do this. Let me learn how to do that to make this podcast better.
See, I don't know if you can readily say that that's a habit. You're learning a new subset of skills. You're adding things to your repertoire. I think of that as you like expanding mentally. You're not using it. You're using an old skill to build onto newer skills. You're honing skills.
Okay.
You see what I mean? We can call it a habit if you want to, but I don't think we should. You, by sitting down and being like, what do we do? Near the last episode in season 1, I was like, we need better stuff. We need better microphones, better cameras, blah, 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 blah. And you upgraded even before I did. And before we stopped, I got this mic over here. I already had that right there. These were sitting on the shelf. I'm like, all the stuff we need is probably already here. And that's just us advancing basically through our journey in life here and trying to be a little bit more, I don't know, professional.
Right. So, I mean, that's how I thought about that one. So I think you hit it better. Maybe it's not habits. Maybe it's just building on systems or building on
your own habits,
skills.
your own skills, your own systems, your own mental. You're expanding yourself mentally. Think about yourself mentally in whatever respect that you want to when we started the podcast. And think about yourself now. Those both the same people?
What's that?
Would you say you were the same person when you started your first podcast to where you're at right now?
No, I mean, when we started, I remember the first time we did it, I was sitting here like shaking, nervous to go on camera, nervous to talk, nervous to just do the whole thing. Now I do it all the time. Now it's easy. Now I do it. You know, when we were podcasting, I was doing it myself, which I would have never thought of. Yeah. You know, I was talking myself. I was doing videos in my car, like boom, turn my phone on. Let's get a podcast out there. Let's do this. Which will go into in one of the next ones here when we talk about systems. I'm sorry I have my followers bugging me, but I'm slowly listening. No, that's all good. I appreciate the streaming the stream. I appreciate it.
Thanks for that. Honestly, that's very cool. Awesome. Thank you.
Number 5 is a little controversial. Well, not controversial, but toxic people.
Oh God, here we go. What, keep toxic people out of your life? That's a topic for almost everybody. I think it's starting to become a little bit of a stereotype.
I think it's kind of funny that you say that though, because now you have me thinking about it. It's like it's like the toxic people say, I got to get rid of the toxic people in my life.
It's like what happened? Here it is. Quentin Rampage Jackson fought the other day, and you thought he maybe threw the fight, which he didn't. He was kind of like falling and being like, I quit. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. All the people that saw that he was fighting the first time in a long time after an injury, that saw that he was overweight. He was fighting heavyweight, not light heavyweight. So he put weight on. So then he tweets after the fight, not about his loss or this or that. He's like, now I have to document myself getting in shape. So all the out of shape people can stop saying that I'm out of shape. And I'm like, that's brilliant. I hope he does it. That's hilarious. That's just funny. Really
So the way I interpret it is this. I interpret it a different way. I interpret it as engagement. So what that means is that I don't need to, at work or in life or whatever, I don't have to. I think a lot of stress comes from engaging too much because it's all ego based. Like, oh, I got to get my word in, or I got to get this. Is engaging too much with people when they're in a bad mood or I mean, they could straight up just be bad people, in your eyes or in my eyes. Um, and I just think it's engagement. I think you could just minimize engaging with people, especially when they're acting in a manner that you know is dragging you down.
Okay.
And I feel that you could just be a little bit more stress free. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not
Sure.
saying like, you know, cut, you know, if you argue with your parents or whatever, like cut them out. I'm just saying that
No, that's not a good idea.
I'm just saying I'm saying that I mean in my life with
yeah.
in my life with family, you know, I have an opinion obviously because we do a podcast here. I could talk and I could spout my, oh, you should do this or you should do that.
Yeah.
But I just feel like just engaging less, just let it go. Let it go.
Oh no, here we go.
I just feel like let it go. So what I'm saying is that just like set your ego, you know, to the side and let them talk their thing. You don't have to engage. You don't have to you know, lock up with that. Just let it go. Let them say what they got to do. Listen. Be nice about it, be kind about it, but just you know, don't engage in conversations that are just stupid and are going to drag you down. And I think you'll be a lot more stress free.
I think what you're trying to say is that if you're able to identify with other people, that if they have some like triggers where they're not in a good mood, maybe you shouldn't engage them when they're not in a good mood because that could put stress back on you, right?
Can we add toxic people from work?
Toxic people.
Yeah. I mean,
every time I hear it.
I mean, when with that, you know, it's the same thing. Just don't engage. Work on what you're doing. I mean, at work, you're really at the coworkers. I hear you but at the you're gonna have to deal with that anyway. You know, you're gonna have to deal with that anyway, or not have a job. So it's either find a new job or deal with it. And I still feel that what I just said gives you the best option. What if they follow you around? Are they dogs?
You turned into the Grudge there for a second, right?
Listen, it's tough. I mean, if you're in a position of being a boss or something like that, I mean, that comes with the territory. You know what I mean? So that could be a little bit tougher. But I'm gonna give you an example of what Nason was just saying. Someone that's it's not toxic, but just like a lesson for a relationship or something like that is, you know, I'll come home, let's say tomorrow. So the wife works like every other weekend. So okay. I'll come home on a Friday. She'll be working on Saturday. I'll come home on a Friday. We both work that day. She had a bad day. I'm happy because of the goddamn weekend. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm coming in. And I find myself, if her energy doesn't match mine, if she's, you know, upset or whatever, and her energy doesn't match mine, I take it out. Like, why are you being this way? Why are you doing that? When don't engage, don't do that. Just let, especially someone like your wife that's special to you, you know, let them be in their mood. They don't have to match you, and that's a personal thing with me. On a fault of mine is that I expect people to be the same energy as me way too much. Okay. And if they're not, I get pissed off. And
okay. I have a train coming through. Keep talking.
Yeah, and I get pissed off, and I find that if the night can go two ways. We're arguing because I'm like, why are you being like that? Or just give her some space, listen if she has something to vent from, be a good fucking husband, and that shit passes and you have a good night. You know what I mean? Okay. Don't let others' emotions dictate your own. You know, happiness has to come from within.
That's true.
So that's that one for me.
Okay.
Moving along, the big one.
Number 7, number 6, number 7, right?
Systems over 6. Systems over habits. So
we did that one.
Well, this is what I'm gonna do for that one. So
we definitely name it systems over habits. That makes sense.
Right. It's systems. It's develop something in your day that's it's so. Let's just take it in the sense of content creation. That it's automated. That it's do something. Take number one, which is take small things, small tasks that you can do that snowball after a certain amount of time, and develop that into a system. So make sure you go, like for me, go to the gym 3 times a week. I know Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm going to the gym to lift. I know every other day out of the week, I'm waking up early. I'm coming downstairs. I'm starting my day off with yoga to stretch everything out and just feel good. That starts my day. That a day I don't do it and a day I do it is 2 different days. And that starts my day off, right? So when I do that, I'm waking up. So I gotta do, so I wake up, I gotta get the workout in. So that means I'm taking my creatine, I'm taking my pre-workout, which has antioxidants and stuff like that, which also means I'm taking my vitamins before I go to work. These are just little things that I'm doing. So I know, gotta take the morning dump. Well, don't open up Twitter. Don't open up Instagram. Open up a book. Now you're reading more. When you have downtime, when you're waiting in line somewhere, I'm writing. You know, you wait in line. I'm writing. I'm continuing on the next article on Google Docs on my phone. When I have some time in my car, I haven't been doing this lately when I got the new job last year, but when I would pull up to work at my old job, I would have about 15-20 minutes before I went in. So I would take my phone out, turn it around, and record a podcast.
There you go.
These were things every single day. When I'm driving to work, I'm listening to Audible. I'm expanding my mind, or with a good podcast or something like that. I'm getting reading done. People don't read enough. I'm doing that. I'm utilizing. It's a system every day, every morning. I'm not listening to an album. I'm listening to an audiobook. When I get into work, I continue the audiobook because every single day when I start my day, I have work where I can just click and not have to worry about things. So my mind isn't focused on much. So I keep, until I'm done, I keep the audiobook going there. After that, something for leisure to get through work. I take every hour. So 1 hour, I listen to a couple albums or an album that I haven't heard or that I want to hear again. And once the hour, so I get to work at 8:30, I'll keep my audiobook till that easy work is done. Once I get into the harder work, I switch over, which is usually around 9:30 to 10:30. I'm listening to music. 10:30 to 11:30, I'm listening to a podcast, something to expand my mind. So I'm getting things done at work for fun, and what being music, and 2, expanding my mind through podcasts and stuff like that while I'm there. Then when I go on lunch, it's writing. I write. A lot of people don't think that. They say, how can I want to write, Sefti? Like, how can I write more? Well, you have 30 minutes at work. There you go. Oh, well, I don't have enough. That's not enough time to get anything done. Well, what else are you doing? Oh, I'm doing nothing. Exactly. So take the 30 minutes, write, and when it's done, it's done. Okay. At least you're moving towards something, like we said, which is number 1. So that's that. When I get home, if I have an article and the baby's hanging out, I hang out, play with the baby. If the baby's doing his own thing, I'm editing on my phone, editing an article or thinking about the podcast. Then we set a time. I either go live with streaming at night or a podcast. And when I get off there, if I have an article, like not tonight because we're doing this, but I'll go and I will record my own podcast for the article that I wrote and posted that day. And then I know the system that I have to go through for putting it out there on the web for everybody to see on every fucking platform there is. So these are all systems. This is all a system. This is every single day. I know, like, at this time I do this, and that's how it is. And it's all for bettering myself and bettering and moving forward every day. So it doesn't matter. Like, I have this system in place because now I'm getting articles done. I'm getting podcasts with you done. I'm getting podcasts on my own. I'm distributing it. I'm getting workouts and I'm doing all that. And it's all just automated because this is the time. This is what happens. This is the time. And it's not gigantic things. My yoga session might be 30 minutes a day. When I go to the gym, it might be 45 minutes. It's nothing crazy, but that shit snowballs and snowballs. you if you start, when I started a blog, I looked at these other people that had 200, 300 articles. I'm like, how the fuck am I ever going to get there? 3 years later, I'm sitting at 150. How?
Gotcha.
Because I'm doing all this.
Because you put the time in, man. That's exactly what you're saying.
Right, but I put the time in small increments.
Yeah.
But it just adds up. And like I said,
definitely all adds up.
You know, if you sat there and when I was getting into blogging, they said, you know, don't think of yourself as a blogger until you have 100 articles. Well, okay. I said, that's insane. I'll probably never get there. But you know what? I just kept going.
Yeah. I mean, you were technically a blogger the first time you did it. So like, yeah, there's no one going to ever really stop you from doing what you want to do and saying that you didn't do enough. You'll just make the notice. You'll notice. And the more you do any of this stuff, the easier it gets because you've been doing it for a longer amount of time versus your first time doing it ever. Right.
Yeah. I mean, do you have anything to say about that? I feel like
No, you pretty much nailed all of it. Like as far as like the routines, habits, and the things you like to put inside of your day to make your day more, how I say it has more of a flow. You're able to go from hour to hour to hour, pretty much knowing what they expect and how you can maximize your time with that, especially when you're listening to an audiobook while you're still working. It's awesome that you can listen to an audiobook while you're working. Like I would never be able to do something like that. But I don't even know what audiobooks I would listen to. I don't listen to enough audiobooks. I would like to do no. I'm not going to make time for audiobooks. There's no time for that.
and before hold on. Before I was doing like, and I had a longer commute or I could do it at work. You know what I did? Everybody, at least I know, like all successful people say they want to read or read more. So what I did was I took a comic book. Because I like comics, I took a comic book, I took a nonfiction, and I took a fiction. And my goal every single day in my system was one issue of a comic and one chapter of each book.
Okay.
So once again, it doesn't, I want to read more. Well, if you sit there and you look at a book, you're like, fuck, I got to read this book.
Wait, well, I missed the part. Who says they have to read more and what were the reasons?
I'm a big advocate of reading. And but I'm like, one of my personal goals.
Enough and still have read enough. You don't have to read extra. You know what I'm saying?
Well, when I sit down, like I feel that a lot of people say I need to take an hour and read every day, and I don't do it like that. I take it in. I just have to get one chapter of each of these done. That's it.
Okay. Right.
And I'm done for the day. Then I could go fuck off on Twitter or something like that.
Okay.
You know, I just needed, and Nasim, I got piles and piles and piles of books finished that way.
Okay.
You know, and if you want to read more, then you just do the cycle over. So I'll do issue of a comic, one chapter of fiction, one chapter nonfiction. Okay, well, I want to keep going. Okay, back to the comic. And I'll just cycle. And then you're completing 3 books at a time. Gotcha. You know what I mean? And when you're done, you're finished with 3 books. I've been doing that. It's fantastic. So in the morning, I read like an issue of a comic. Currently, what the hell am I? Oh, I'm reading Animal Man by Jeff Lemire.
Okay.
And then I'm reading some fucked up horror book that I want to talk about because it's super messed up. And then a nonfiction of choice. So like Atomic Habits is a good one. By James Clear. That's a fantastic book, but just something to give your brain that, like, just something to think about, because I'm a firm believer of, I do think motivation is fleeting. I think a lot of this motivational people just listen or read, and they just to get that jolt, and then once they're not reading, they're like, I'm not doing this, that nothing gets applied.
Okay.
But I do feel that if you keep putting good listen to good quality content or read good quality content, I do think it just keeps your spirits high, keeps you in a better frequency to go throughout your day. You might not be doing everything that the book is saying or everything that these people are saying, but it just keeps you in a better vibration for the day. That's how I feel.
You're saying that when you feel that you listen to these books, you feel more positive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
You know, regardless if I'm doing exactly what they say to gain success or whatever, like what I'm writing now, like I just finished a section on how to clear or how to deal with how to deal with negativity and how crippling that could be.
Okay.
How, you know, a part of the new article is once again, because whatever is weight loss. But I say, you know, for myself, when if I have a bad week and the weekend comes and say I got to dress up or something, like, I don't want to do it because I feel like I haven't lost weight. I feel fatter.
Okay.
I don't want to be in social situations. I don't want to dress up. I don't want to engage with people because I'm worried about how I look.
Okay.
And I just, and what I'm trying to say is that this little problem of weight loss, like this one chink in the armor, could just open the floodgates for so much negativity in my life.
Okay.
So that's like what I wrote about in this new article that's up today. But yeah, anything else? I mean, the last two I'm just going to combine because we already talked about it. Like I said, this is all going to mesh together.
Okay.
Number 7 was don't be hard on yourself over consistency. And 8 was focus more on yourself than others. So don't bother yourself, man, with consistency. And what I mean by that is that you want to get your stuff, and you want to, if you're a content creator, you want to make the podcast, you want to do that. Me and Nasim could have maybe done 3 this week, but we did 1. It doesn't matter.
We can do another.
We're not.
The week's not over yet. Hold on. Slow down there.
we're not. Listen.
No, don't do
listen,
it like that.
Okay, here, listen. You want to do that? Listen, I'm going to propose it right here on the podcast. Okay. So in order for me to get up all the stuff that I need to get up for a podcast, I need a 300-word article.
Okay.
300 words. Okay. So the reason why
it has to be 300 words.
Yes, for SEO purposes.
Okay.
SEO purposes is search engine optimization. For us to rank in Google, for us to even have a chance, the article that accompanies the podcast has to be 300 words minimum. So I could show you the thing. So what I'm trying to say is that if you want a podcast on the weekends, that's fine. But the problem is that I am going to, because of my little, like when I have one podcast, I could write the 300 words the next day and get it out there. What up, Raymond? And I could get it out there by tomorrow. Now, if we had 3 in the bank and I have to write 900 words, now I'm like, fuck, I got to write 900 words. And mind you, it's not a ton, but I just will not do it because I don't want to take on that big of a task. Take the time out of my day. So what I'm proposing is that if you want to do a Saturday or you want to do a Sunday, well, Sunday I could do it Monday, that's fine. But if you want to do a Friday or a Saturday, I propose to you to write the 300 words and send it to me, and I can get it up on all the platforms.
Sure. I mean, I wouldn't be able to write the 300 words for this one. I think you have
I got it.
Content for the New Year's resolutions. I don't have much to add other than it's disturbing that 80% of them all stop in February, and a resolution I can really get behind is putting in more of a physical, mental, and spiritual effort into replacing parts of my home. I'm a home owner, and there's a whole big deal between owning and renting. And sometimes I feel like it was easier when you were renting because your landlord would have to be responsible for making major changes.
It's so much better
when you own a home, you have to do it.
I don't know. I'm not happy with. I'm happy owning. I'm happy being in a home, but as I walk around, and especially with Jacob now, and you know, you don't have as much time to do things around the house and all that. I mean, just look at my fucking room here. But I just feel, and it's not like things are just falling apart, but it feels that way. You know what I mean? I think you have a much more anxiety, over feeling like things are falling apart.
Well, when you bought your home, it was sort of ready to move in. Wouldn't you say so?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You probably remember better than I. I was there when you were moving in. I was helping you get Comcast.
Yeah.
And a lot of this stuff was already done, except for they might have left out that something was very unlevel on a porch. Remember that?
The entire room.
Mm-hmm.
So that we have a sunroom, but it used to be a deck, and then they, you know, closed it and made it look into a sunroom. Well, it still was on like the foundation. Like they made it obviously a lot better. It looks fine. You would never think it was a deck. But the foundation underneath was trash. Yeah. So the it was slightly tilting, and over years that would get worse. So we had to reinforce that.
Sorry.
But what scares me is my spending and stuff like that. That's another thing you want to talk about New Year's is spending. Like tomorrow, if my buddy calls me, I'll go out for wangs and a beer. Like
Okay.
I'll be out for an hour and a half, spend maybe like $14 or whatever, but before tip, nothing crazy, but I don't really got to do that. I could be here creating, or I could be here being on stream, playing video games, hanging out with people.
Okay.
But what scares me is that I buy new phones and do all that, but if something goes to hell, I already have debt on my credit card and I'm scared to go into more.
And that's without you having to fix anything on your house. So I'm looking at replacing my bathroom, and that's not going to be something that's going to be done quickly.
Right.
I want to be able to do as much as I possibly can on my own. If there's something I can like do it yourself, DIY, I want to do that. I want to cut costs. I want to not have to be paying for all the costs and the labor. That's the real name of the game there. So if you can do something, if you're handy, if you can watch a YouTube video, whatever it's got to be, that's what I'm doing that. I'm not going to think about it.
You're going to tackle that?
I'm just going to do it.
You're going to do it?
I'm doing it, man. I have to. This is a matter of survival. This bathroom has to get fixed.
What are a couple things that you are going to learn how to do?
I've already taught myself plumbing. Oh, here. And that segments into this. Hello. I just thought of this while we were talking about it. The most common home repairs you can easily do yourself, and people sell themselves short. Fix or replace a broken toilet lever. Very easy. Unclogging a toilet drain. Yeah, you can pretty much do that with a plunger. Here we are. Repairing a leaky sink drain pipe. So you just go to the pipe underneath your sink and you can take it apart and unclog it. You'll be fine. Honestly, you'll be fine. Clear jam garbage disposal. I don't have one of those. Do you?
No.
Okay. Almost done. Replacing a light switch, super easy. And patching a hole in drywall, super easy. Oh, this is a big one. Loosen up a stuck window. Don't mess with your windows, man, especially when you live places where you want your climate to be a certain way. Now, that was one of the first things I started fixing when I owned a home. I started replacing all the windows in the house, and that will pay for itself over some ridiculous amount of time, like 20 years or 30 years, or maybe 10. Maybe we're lucky. Windows matter. If you want to keep your cold in or your heat in,
windows matter.
They do. Your windows, your doors, and any of your doors, like sliding doors. Like two of the doors that would leak the most here would be a sliding door and a normal door. You just have to either replace them or start to learn how to use weather stripping very effectively. There's also kits you can buy to keep air in over leaky spaces. Like if you have a window in a basement that's single pane, take care of that.
Well, you don't
have to replace it for $300 or $400. You could just patch it up.
Something like this past summer was we had mold in the ductless.
Oh, that's a big one. Take care. Keep the water off the house is the number one. I forgot to talk about that. Number one, keep water away from your house. It will destroy everything.
In the ductless air conditioner, we had mold. So I went on YouTube and I'm like, all right, well, I'll just figure out how to do it. So I went on and like within 15 seconds, they're like, these are the tools you'll need. And it was like some crazy fucking thing. And I'm like, nope, I'll call someone.
It's like a computer from Cybernet.
No, it was like
from Skynet and the Cyberdyne systems and the hand of a Terminator, the eye of Data from Star Trek. And you're like,
well, you need like tools to like take it apart, but then you needed tools to like clean it out the right way with like a bag that goes. It was like a whole ordeal, and I'm like,
so what'd you do?
I called someone.
Who'd you call? Who'd you call?
Rex, was it? Rex
Appliances?
Appliances? This guy's
name?
Rex Appliances, something
Rex,
like that.
This guy called Rex shows up. I'll fix it.
Simon Rex.
Simon Rex. Let's talk about our favorite. I'll do my top two names for a hero in any series at all. Do you have one?
What, that's already made?
Yes. Like James Bond is a name that people end up remembering, or Jason Bourne, or what was that guy's name? You just named him.
Simon Rex.
Simon Rex. Jack Bauer. Okay, like you got
airport fashion problems.
Who?
Oh, you never saw his Instagram.
What's that?
Simon Rex.
No, I didn't. What's he do?
Black Bolt. No. My favorite superhero name. Or here
No,
on
I have one that's hilarious, but I'm trying to search for it. It just sounds terrible when you say it together.
Laser Suit Larry.
You have one that you can make fun of that you can poke at, right? Doesn't have to be Peter Parker. I know you like Spider-Man.
And I do love Spider-Man. I don't
Ant-Man.
know. This is a weird Ant-Man. A weird question.
I'm looking for the one that I wanted to use. Anyway, let's move on.
Dexter.
Living in a house, owning a house, and having a mortgage is no joke. You can go poor just owning your house, never mind taking care of a child or yourself. So I think we all can make little strives in the new year or any year, like you said, put a system in. So my system will be get an envelope, and every time I get paid, I'm putting X amount of money into it, and that's just going to be for fixing the bathroom. Whether I do it myself because I teach myself to do it, or I have to pay someone to do it, it has to be there has to be money there for equipment and costs of materials.
That's what people say about even like I was saying about going out and stuff like that. Is that when you get your pay, like there was a couple things. There was one was as soon as you get paid, which I don't have this problem, but as soon as you get paid, put gas in your car, because then Monday will come and you'll go out and doing shots, bruh. And then you won't have money to put gas in your car. So they said as soon as you get your paycheck, put gas in your car. As soon as you get your paycheck, shop for your groceries. So you use that money first. See your bank account without that money in it. So you already got those two things done. And then for going out purposes, it could be any amount of money, but you have to figure out your budget. And then you withdraw say $100 and you put it in an envelope. And if you get paid bi-weekly, when that envelope is depleted for your entertainment and things like of that nature, then you are done until you get paid again.
That's good. That's sound advice. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Get used to your paycheck being affected by the essentials, the absolute essentials. So, for example, on the first, I'm always paying the mortgage. So me and the missus, we're trying to get everything together all the time to pay the mortgage on the first, because once that's out of the way, hallelujah, now we can tackle everything else. Like you said, groceries, great topic. Like I'm talking about saving up for something big that can be applied to fixing something at your house or going on a vacation. Very easily done.
Yeah. A thing that I did just to get a view of what you can do. So I use PNC. So PNC, I have the mobile app on my phone. So I just started. So it's January. So I'd go into December, and I'd go look and I would tally up. I get paid bi-weekly, so I would take my paycheck without taxes or with the taxes taken out, all that. I'd add it up, so I have a total for the month, and then so I get that total and I minus every single thing that is reoccurring, or that like gas is reoccurring, all your subscriptions, if you have Netflix, things like that reoccurring. I minused all of it out to get an actual total of the money that wasn't tied up in shit. And that gave me a better look at what I'm dealing with, because a lot of people will just go and spend and then be like, well, what happened? Well, now you know. So let's just throw a number out there. So let's say, like, after everything for 1 month, let's just say you have $1,000 that money is not tied up. So now you know, that's like nice. So now you know if you have that for the month, and you're doing, let's say you're doing the $100 budget, then you have $800 to put somewhere else. You could put $400 on a credit card and still have $400 left over, plus the $200 to go out for 4 weeks or whatever like that. So you gotta get mindful of what you actually have.
Yes,
that's free money. Did you ever do that? Did you ever get Did you ever like actually look at like the free money you have? Like the non-tied up money?
Position the money around for our living situation the best that I can. It's combined income and keeps us in this house. That's great. One of the coolest tips and tricks that I can give to you or to anyone that owns a home and has a mortgage, otherwise this won't apply to you if you're renting, is make yourself the 13th month of a payment and make sure you pay that on principal. So take your payment, say it's $1,000. You divide what you would have to pay for that, divide it by 12.
Yep, whatever I do that all the time, dude.
Add it every single month, and then you just paid 13 months out of the year on your mortgage, whether you have your PMI still going or not, I don't know. but that helps. That's just, you can apply that to a lot of different things.
Well, I do that with credit card debt, shit
go,
like that.
Yeah.
So,
boom.
Yeah. So what I do is
credit card debt. That'd be great to do with. Oh, and if you have debt with credit cards, I can recommend to you right now. If your credit's not terrible, get a transfer card and pay it off as much as you can in like 18 months. I think 18 or 19 months is the most you're ever going to squeeze.
I'll be honest. If I'm totally honest, I play the credit card game, but I also play the transfer game, which is I don't think is a good thing. But
you gotta play it. You gotta play to win, right?
Well,
casino rules over here.
the only thing I like about it is that when I do that, it's not, you know, what.
Don't get frustrated.
No, I'm not frustrated. What I'm saying is I'm not I'm not so far where like I'm using all of that free money to pay towards it. Even so, what I'll do is I'll take my whatever the debt is, and I will transfer it when I'm up. So I am paying 0 interest, and then I will divide. So let's say 18 months. I will divide that total by 18 months, and that's what goes automatically every month. Every month. I remember at one point I was paying like $375 a month.
Mishki, for what?
Just to get out of it. And
for your high performance vehicle?
No, but I just had it was probably around the time where like with like the wedding and stuff like that. Okay. So I just had and I remember telling my one friend about it, and he's like, dude, like this is why you're worried about money all the time, is because you're paying $400 a month on a credit card. I'm like, listen, that's what the division was. That's what the fucking math was. That's what I got to do.
That's what it takes.
You know,
do what it takes, right?
Yeah. So that's what it was. And, you know, I got rid of that and it was done, you know, it was done. So, but other than
credit card, that can't go bad for anybody. No way.
Yeah. So other than that, that's what I got. I'm finished.
I think we're done.
Yeah.
I don't really have anything else, and I will take you up on your challenge, and I will write the next 300-word article for our next. Let me hear you again.
Well, even
I just got my hair caught in my headphones.
Even if you want to,
I'm gonna make the next one on. Here we go.
What's up, Harold?
I'm gonna do Oscar nominations 2020, and we'll do maybe a little bit of pre-coverage for the UFC 246 because that's coming up, and that's gonna be a barn burner. Or it should be good. I hope it's good. I hope it's not all decisions because I just said it's going to be a barn burner.
The only thing that sucks is
it might not be one.
Is I'm having like people over, and it was like a whole ordeal, and I had a buddy coming in from out of state and all that, and now we're getting 6 inches of snow, so I don't know how far I'm going to be going.
Yeah, okay. Let me know what happens. I'm interested. But if we can cast before that goes on, we can see how some of our predictions did like later on, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It'll be fast, man. I can get through the Oscars and that pretty quick.
But that's the thing, is that if you want to tack, so like if like say you wanted
I can write about the Oscars and I can write about UFC.
Right.
That's not a problem.
So say you wanted to cast on like Saturday or something like that, like it'd just be a topic that you're familiar with, so you would be okay with writing that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like if we do one
for that than this one, because this one I'm doing my best.
Yeah, the literally I could write a 3,000 word article and be fine with it, but like when I have to write just 300 words for something that we spoke about, so I'm like, I don't want to put all this time in, like the content's in the podcast, not the article.
Just gotta listen to it, right?
Right. So I don't want to put all this time into it, but it has to get done. I mean, that's it. Like if I in the word processor that I use for Seftimor Live, it literally has like a big red mark on there that's like, it's not 300 words. Like your Google search is going to be hindered. So
gotcha. I'm down, man. Saturday we'll do it before the snow hits.
Yeah.
Before we have to hunker down. People be going to grocery stores. We don't need to go to the grocery stores because it's only gonna be a day.
And why do they only get bread and water, milk?
Because it's stuff that spoils the fastest. Bread goes stale, milk, because it spoils. You could still drink it. It tastes disgusting. You can drink it. You won't get sick unless you're lactose intolerant because it's been pasteurized. Eggs, right. Eggs. You got a week, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You don't have to listen to me right now. And this is, if anything's going to make sense for the new year, it's this. You don't have to go by expiration dates on packaging. It's done by the company, so that's their best buy. They want you to buy it and throw it away and buy more. That's all.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
No, I hear you.
It's a scam. Don't let them scam you.
Don't let them scam you. But
What do you
think
think?
I think that's it, man.
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
So thank you everyone for watching. Thank you everyone for listening. If you want to check this out, this will be up tomorrow. Seftimorlive.com is the home base for everything, for the podcast. The new articles are out. I just put out. Start writing the next section tomorrow. And then anchor.fm/Seftimor is where you get the audio version. It's also available on all major platforms: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher,
TikTok.
Spotify, not TikTok.
Got you again. The third time's a charm, baby.
But it is available on all different platforms. And Mixer.com if you want to watch the streams. I will be streaming either The Witcher or Destiny this weekend, so you could check me out there.
Apparently you should be doing The Witcher because there's something out on Netflix that everyone's making a big deal about.
I know, I haven't watched it yet.
I heard he talks real low like this. Does the character do that? Is that why you have to do that?
He's got Batman voice.
I don't know. I didn't see it yet. I saw a video where he had to cut weight for it, and he didn't drink water for 4 days. And I'm like, I don't advise that for anybody. I don't care if you have to look good on cameras.
Dry fasting's a real thing, man.
It's nasty, dude. Nasty stuff. The MMA fighters do it all the time. They look terrible when they're weighing in. Awful.
So yeah, if you guys want to check me out, that's where I'm at. Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff at Seftimor if you want to follow me there. fb.gg/Seftimor. Harold Bauer says I'm the only one watching. Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate you watching, sir. I'm not super popular. We're not super popular. Yeah, you remember
when he told us that?
You remember when Harold Bauer laughed at us?
And I'll take off my headphones and I'll
write
jump out the window into a pool.
Write that name down.
Which one?
Harold Bauer.
Nice. We were just talking about Jack Bauer. Oh, he's related.
This is his brother.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, but thank you everybody. Appreciate it. Nason, you got anything to chill out?
I'd like to say thank you, Mr. Bauer. For real.
And that's how we end it. Good night, everybody.